Alright then Dave, I've been busy, you've been busy, we've both been really busy, we've not been able to do many ride outs at all this last year. Got my bike back on the road, but I'm still really busy. I believe you've just finished your lambing. What are you doing?
It's been a busy old week, so Jane and I have decided to have a bit of a break tomorrow. She fancies buying some sweets and I fancy a day out on the bike. So in a spirit of entente cordiale, we've decided to go to Tissington for the day. I decide that a ride over Swarkston Causeway is in order, and so we head up north to the Peak District in a somewhat indirect manner. Bemused by my choice of route, Jane is left completely underwhelmed by this marvel of medieval engineering. You may probably see the connection between the peaks and a ride out on my bike, but what's the sweet connection, I hear you say? During lockdown, Jane came across a Facebook page of an oldie worldy sweet shop selling confectionery from her childhood. Said sweet shop is in Tissington. Not long after leaving the causeway, true to form, I get us lost. Riding on the A50, I'm looking for a sign to Ashbourne on the A51 something 15, I don't know. Anyway, I hoped I'd recognise it when I saw it. I didn't.
When you said to me, is this the one?
Yeah.
Where were you wanting to get to?
I expected very much to see a sign to Ashbourne.
Right.
But
You said to me, M50, A515.
I thought it was a 51 something.
But then the signpost that you said was the one that would take us into Derby to pick up the A6 to go to Belper. When you said, is this the one?
Yeah. Tissington.
I think it's that one.
No, so that's why I thought I'd just come and stop. And
But then it looked like we're getting further and further and further towards the Potteries.
Yeah.
After Jane had helpfully said we're getting further and further and further away, I went to Google Maps, and true to form, Google sent us along some roads we would never normally travel. This, I assume, can be a good thing, as well as a bad thing, depending on your vehicle.
Good job we're not got a caravan, innit?
A sign for a Ford. Great excitement. It's why I got an adventure bike. In my mind, I cross great rivers along long, lonely trails.
Ridiculous.
And eventually, the A515. And so we arrive at Tissington, a small village on the Tissington estate built around Tissington Hall. Never even heard of the place until a couple of days ago, and now I've used it 3 times in a short sentence. Who'd have thunk it?
Okay, thank you very much.
that
Cheers.
side and then put it back in there. Especially to come and buy me some sweets. Do you have, you know the tea cakes that are the toffee tea cakes?
Yeah, the Grace tea cakes.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Please, if I can.
I've got it all right.
If buying sweets by the quarter pound out of a jar is your thing, then I'd suggest Edward and Vintage is worth a visit if you're ever in the area. With my ice cream well and truly demolished, we take a stroll around the village. Population of around 160 or so, and home to 6 wells that are dressed during the week of Ascension Sunday, which I think this year is next week. The tradition started back in 1348 to celebrate the village's escape from the Black Death, which they put down to the purity of the well water. Oh, what do you know? Right, lunchtime.
Jane in a taffy picture.
Jane picking sweets out of tea for Wickford.
You haven't been eating sweets?
No, not allowed. Only food purchased in the
After a longer than necessary journey, apparently, let's be mindful and in the moment as we share a unifying cuppa before we go our separate gastronomic ways. Goat's cheese quiche and salad for Jane, ham, egg and chips for me. It's barely half an hour since we had those big ice creams. I suppose we should be thoroughly ashamed of ourselves. Lunch eaten, sweet sport, Tissington walk through, time to head home. And so we say farewell to the Hall, a Jacobean building built in 1609 by Francis Fitzherbert, currently owned by Sir Richard Fitzherbert, who lives here. And farewell to Herbert's tea rooms, which actually were very nice, good food and not too expensive at all. And a fond fare thee well to the parish of St Mary's Church with its Norman tower. Cheerio, Tissington. And hello, dangerous deep river crossing. Ignore the children on the bikes, it's deeper than it looks. spent a week working here once.
Did you?
Yeah. Just guarding that while they were fixing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's next. Yeah, up the hill. Straight up. I was just thinking, we could come into Matlock and we can't be bothered to go and get fish and chips. Are you alright? You're going right. And staying on the A6 and then into Ambergate, then into Belter, then to the A38, and then A50, and then off at Torkton if that's what you want to do.
I'm back across Walkstone Bridge and Causeway, built in the 13th century to cross the river and surrounding marshland. Originally called the Pont de Cordy, it's just under a mile long and with 17 arches, 6 of them unaltered since medieval times. It's the longest stone bridge in England, and Jane is still about as underwhelmed as one can be. Her back, shoulders and heads are aching, so without further ado, off home we go.